Hey, welcome to Infinite Light. My name is Shawnee. Interesting energy I'm picking up right now. This is a collective read, all right? But I'm getting a person who's arguing with themselves. I never use the term shut up. I don't like it. It's kind of triggering for me, but I do feel like maybe you've been rehearsing saying something and then you just tell yourself to like shut up, like that's stupid, that sounds dumb, like I'm getting this kind of talking, this kind of beating yourself up. It's like a rehearsal for a speech, or maybe you're writing it down and keep deleting it, like, oh, that sounds dumb, that's stupid. I keep getting this real sort of negative self-talk and very heavily judgmental. And as I was saying that, my throat was getting like kind of gargly. So it's like a blocked throat chakra. It's not my energy. Maybe in other arenas, you're well versed and you're a really good orator and you say what's on your mind. But whatever this is, I'm getting like a person who's in front of the mirror, like having like a fake conversation with somebody else, or like in the bathroom, like in the shower, washing dishes, driving, having have you ever had like an argument with somebody and then you relive the argument, days, weeks, months, years later, and you're like, oh, I should have said this. But I don't know if that's necessarily happened. I just feel like there's a need to say something, or you're rehearsing something that you want to say or writing it, and it just doesn't sound right yet. Yeah. Which makes sense because I just recorded an entire 35-minute video for a collective that might have needed to hear it. But as soon as I finished with the video, I was like, no, that's not the right message. So I feel like Spirit is bringing me here to do a take two for you. So let's see. Spirit, thank you so much for bringing me in front of this collective today. Allow me to deliver a clear, concise, and protected message to those watching. Should anything negative come up, immediately return it to sender. I don't want it on me. I don't want it in my house, and I don't want it on the viewer. All right, so this message that I'm recording now is going to be the determining factor if the other message gets posted or not. Let's see, Spirit, what do you have for the collective? Completely different cards, different oracle cards. It says, Sea Goddess of Momentum, Consistent Communication. Sea Goddess of Momentum, Consistent Communication. Do you see that it says it? It might be backwards for you guys. Wow. Okay. So I am where I need to be now. I'm in the energy that I need to be in now. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing me here. We've got orange on here for the sacral chakra. That's just below your navel. That is the chakra that governs, or that helps out with creativity. So if you're feeling a creative block with whatever it is that you're trying to say, or you don't know how to say it, or exactly when to say it, do you say it in person? Do you say it phone call? Yeah. If you're feeling that block, it's because the sacral chakra is blocked. This is also sexual energy. This is emotional energy here. So an emotional tie to whatever it is, to whomever it is that you want to talk to, and maybe even a sexual connection or tension or energy between you and this person. Look at all the green though. The green is overtaking the card. The green is your heart chakra. That's your emotions. So your emotions start from down here and they come here and they're seen, they're felt, they're given, they're received. You may not know how to receive emotion, yet you're a very emotion-filled person. Let's see, what else do we have? What do we have for this collective, Spirit? That's a 10. This is a 10, a 28 card. So there's an ending to that energy. You're closing that chapter of feeling stuck and not knowing how. You're closing that chapter because your heart chakra is the most dominant thing right now. I think you're going to be listening to your heart in this particular situation. When I look at this card too, I'm not ready to move on to these other cards. When I look at this card too, I do see that it's almost like this goddess has put out a fire. Anger could have been an issue, but that's being put to rest by love, or an emotion that feels like love. You can catch more flies with honey kind of thing. Almost like you're going to find a better resolution through gentle and love-based communication versus arguing and heated conversation. All right. Conversation. It says consistent communication. What else do you have for the collective, please, Spirit? Cosmic ocean. Current dreams. Future realities, new beginnings. I said that with the 10 on this card. It's 28 up here. I don't know if you can see it. But look at this blue now. Talking about communication, look at all of that blue. That is your throat chakra here. And this individual is swimming in it. Swimming in the communication, swimming in the truth, swimming in the authenticity. That's all what comes from here. Swimming in the connection to divine's communication to you, meaning your higher self is saying like, hey, listen, we've got a message to give to you that we want you to give to another or others. Current dreams. So have you been dreaming about this person? Or is it a dream of yours to address this person or these people? Future realities about where you want to go with them or the situation in the future? Do you feel like it's only a dream? Do you feel like it's only a fantasy? Do you feel like it's only a daydream? Do you daydream about this person, fantasize about this person or these people or this situation a lot? What do you have for the collective, please? Where are we going with this? The Nine of Wands in the reverse, on the edge, the Hierophant in the upright. But you're learning new belief systems, or you're on the edge of learning new belief systems, jumping into the unknown. The King of Pentacles that came out with the Hierophant is telling me that you're learning. There is an authoritative nature about you, but you're learning how to control it for the greater good of you and this other person, or you and this community. So maybe you used to be very argumentative, or the way that you spoke to people or your presence was like bossy or moody. And you're learning how to step back from that energy. Yep. The Queen of Wands. This is like you've got determination to turn it around. And the consistent communication isn't necessarily just with this other person or these other people. It's the consistent communication you're having with yourself that's drawing this in. Remember, I was talking about how I feel you saying, no, that's not good enough. I get like you want to turn something around. And generally when you have like spiritual teachers like myself or other people in the spiritual community, they will say, stop talking about yourself that much or that bad. Stop beating yourself up so bad. Give yourself some grace. And I'm picking up from you like this very Virgo energy, but it's teetering on not being balanced, in that there's like this perfectionist about you. So why you're beating yourself up about, no, that's not good enough, no, that's not quite right, it's because you've invested so much energy in a potential outcome for this. You've dreamt about this for so long. I do feel like you're on the precipice of something, or maybe I just wanted to say that word. I don't know. But that's what I'm getting. Oh yeah, that's but the on edge here. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want it to be misconstrued. You're definitely tired of being misunderstood. So there's hesitation. Okay. So why are you bringing this up to the collective? What is meant to be happening in their reality right now that they need to be aware of? Two things. The Four of Swords and the Emperor in the reverse. So there's something inside of you that is saying, that's enough. That's enough rehearsal. Heck, you could even be like writing something like a book or something. Hesitating to put yourself out there on social media, something like that. That's enough. That's enough rehearsal. It's time. And whatever this nudge, this could be a spirit guide of yours, or an angel. It could even be you telling yourself it's time. And here's the bossiness, right, with the Emperor in the reverse. But the universe or the universal energies around you are so rigid right now that they're like, no, like, stop contemplating. I'm getting, it's go time. You're so used to having control that even seeing yourself and feeling yourself in this energy is so aggravating to you. What is the thing that's blocking what is the thing that's causing the most hesitation in this collective, please, Spirit? Yeah, this is your own mind. This is your own mind, like going back and forth, like this is your subconscious and your conscious fighting with yourself. This is your inner knowing and your outer knowing fighting with itself. Infighting. Also, too, you're used to having, for you, potentially, you might have been raised in a household or a community, social dynamic or culture where like yelling was like the norm. That's just how elders or your parents spoke to you, is like through yelling, almost like that's the only way. Maybe they're the Tamer. I'm not a musician, so I don't know. I decided to go with that, but you come from, I feel like you come from a loud cultural background, or even just like a loud city. There's always been noise around you, and that's what makes you comfortable. So you feel more alive in a setting that is slightly agitated, is slightly chaotic. But you're seeing the future can be different. There's still that tension though, and it's that inner conflict and disagreement. You're trying to stay away from that. Turn a new leaf potentially in your life. What's the energy that the collective doesn't realize that they could be using to help them out of this? The Six of Pentacles in the reverse. You have to stop investing in multiple ideas about this new idea of a communication style. Like if you were a smoker who wanted to stop smoking, it's almost easier to stop smoking if you stop hanging around all the smokers. Like I was in the military, so when I used to be a smoker, and so I just stopped going to the smoke pit at break time to help me get out of the habit of smoking. If you are, if you drink and your friends drink a lot, then if you want to stop and cut back on drinking, it might be easier if you stop hanging out around them. If you want to adapt your communication style to not be so loud and argumentative, and I'm not saying lose your authenticity in any way, shape, or form, but there's a difference between having a volume and not saying anything, and then having a volume and having a lot of depth to what it is that you're saying. I do feel like there are a lot of people around you that don't have anything to say, but they're just loud. You want to have a different communication style, so it probably might be better to cull or cut some of those other influences out of your life. You do have the ability to do that. As a matter of fact, as you start taking a look at those different demographics around you of enabler energies, the ones that were enabling you to stay stuck in this old energy, you might find that a lot of those relationships are not equal give and take. It could be more that you invest in some of those relationships than others do anyways. What I'm trying to say is that if you actually really paid attention to those connections, you might find that you are on a different level energetically anyways. So that's probably another reason to disconnect from that older energy, less elevated energy. It's not giving high vibration or high value. So where do we go from here, Spirit? This consistent communication. Give me more on this. What is this consistent communication for the collective? It's about emotions. Look at that. Page of Cups. It's about how you express your emotions. We're going to go back to this idea of like this cultural idea I feel around you, where you might have had parents that's how they express love, was, like I said, through yelling, through arguments. That maybe that's how you thought a relationship was supposed to be, the breakup to make up, because that's what you saw in your parents or your caregivers, or that's all you experienced as a young adult. That's why this is a Page of Cups, and it's because you're having to relearn how to emotion with someone, how to emotionally connect with others. One more on this card, please. This consistent communication. 2 more fell out. Oh, 3 fell out. We'll take them. Yeah. Okay. So the reason why you're feeling like you need to change how you communicate in emotional exchanges is because you've evaluated where you're at thus far in life, and it's just not giving. It's lacking. With this Two of Pentacles, this Nine of Cups, Two of Pentacles in the reverse, the Nine of Cups in the reverse, and the Seven of Cups in the reverse. This is an idea of putting it all down. Cold turkey a little bit for you. It's like you just, one day you woke up and you said, that's it. Like, I can't keep living like this because it's not giving me what I feel like my future should be giving me. That's not giving me what I've dreamt about for my future. Who I've dreamt about for my future. I keep replaying Romeo and Juliet. Romeo says to Juliet, "Must you leave me so unsatisfied?" Her response is, "What satisfaction could you have? Can you have tonight?" And then he says something about a true love's kiss. But I think for you, it's a monologue versus a dialogue. Meaning you're having the conversation with yourself. And maybe even you're having the conversation with your God or the universe, and you're saying, "Must you leave me so unsatisfied?" And as you've asked this question over and over again, as you've pondered over it and sat with it and floated with it and felt it, the response is like, you have it inside of you to lift yourself out of that dissatisfaction. Juliet's response to Romeo in that particular part of the play, a little bit later, she's essentially saying, like, I've always loved you. Haven't you felt that? I think that you wanted it proved to you in the form of an argument, because that's how you felt loved. Somebody yelling, somebody screaming, somebody getting upset, because that's how you felt the most comfortable. And that's not what was happening here. So you're relearning how to communicate. The very first card that came out was consistent communication. Consistent communication with yourself. No, we're going to do this different. Consistent communication with another person. No, we're not going to yell. That's not how we're going to communicate now. We're going to communicate like two adults. And if we can't do that, then I'm learning throughout my experience that I need to cull that. I need to cut that. I need to separate myself from that idea. I mean, heck, that's what's in my cards. I'm getting a person. So I want to know what this other person's current energy is. I'm going to pull a C card for this other person. This other person that you've been having these imaginary conversations with. What is the other person's energy, please, Spirit? Or the other situation's energy. It says grounded element, lobster spirit. Wow. So there's a lot of ethereal energies here. There's a lot of like the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown chakra here. This person is very heavily connected to spirit. I don't know why I'm getting a bottom dweller. I'm almost getting like this person has gone under the radar. How, even to themselves, how truly connected they are. Grounded element. So it could be they could be a earth sign or a Pisces, because I'm looking at all of this Neptune kind of energy, this energy that is connecting them to the ethers and to spirit. They could be a Sagittarius as well, but very highly intuitive. Give me more about this person's current energy, please, Spirit. That's a 3, so they could be life path number 3, which is like a spiritual healer, a teacher, a medical profession, an energetic healer, a shaman, a community, like work in the community, like a serial volunteer, like they're constantly volunteer, philanthropists, work for a company or own a company that is freelance type stuff, like work in religion or spirituality. King Tide comes out. Plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. Yeah, like, and this person is not afraid of the shadows. The fullness of life. The lobster eats, whatever's there. They're accepting of the energies that are coming around them, and because they process them in the energy of love. They process them in the energy of awareness and accepting people and places and things for what they are, seeing them for what they are clearly. So highly empathic, seeing them for what they are, and then meeting them where they're at. What is this person's communication style? Spirit, what is this person's current communication style, please? Ooh, the Tower. This person is a change agent. So interesting in the Scorpio energy here, and it kind of does match. So they could have a very heavy water element to them. So this would be like Pisces. This is moon card, Pisces, Cancer. Could be very significant as a sun, moon, rising, Venus, or even North Node. But check this out, and Scorpio here. And Aries too with this Tower card. They're a change agent. So their communication is meant to rock people's foundation. So they could be a lawyer, an activist, a politician. They could even be like a musician or a writer, an actor. This person is meant, the way that they communicate, it gets people to their core to really evaluate. I'm getting Sagittarius. Did I already say Sagittarius? Because this person is very honest and unapologetic about it. How would they, sorry, I hit my mic. How would they respond if you were to come towards them with to start consistent communication? Differently? Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, 10 of Cups. Why pull any more cards? They would even look. They would literally even stop working. Like they would, most people, like they would, let's say this person's in the middle of some sort of seminar or retreat or, something. They would answer the phone. They would stop working. They would stop what they were doing to have a conversation with you. I'm sorry, but wowzers. The 10 of Cups and then the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. This person is also a perfectionist. The 9 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, also a perfectionist. So I think it would be funny if you had ironic, let's say, if you felt comfortable eventually later, after you've started the initial conversation, to lead to consistent conversation with this person. My nose is starting to itch. It would be a funny story. I feel if you brought up how you used to beat yourself up about having this initial conversation with them, this person would be like, wait, what? Why? Or like, why would you feel that way about me? Like, I'm so chill. Or they would be like, yeah, me too. I always wondered what it would be like to talk to you or somebody like you. And then I kind of would beat myself up about it. That's pretty cool. Let's get some advice and then we will close it out. Advice for the collective, please, Spirit. Advice. Open to new perspectives. Open yourself up to new perspectives. You're starting to do that. You're starting to do that. So what are you going to do next? Open to new perspectives. This is also saying stop being stuck. Stop being stuck in your own head. This is being stuck in your own head. As advice, stop being stuck in your own head. Open yourself up to new perspectives. This doesn't equate to love. Some of us were taught that. Some of us, me included, I've had to overcome this exact same scenario. But this does not equate to love. Open yourself up to new perspective. I sure hope this helped. This will replace the other reading that I had done before. If you want to work with me in any capacity, the link to my Stan Store is down below. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.